Hello and welcome back to AYFKM. I'm Victoria Sharp. And today I want to talk about something that has been sitting in my spirit, tapping me on the shoulder, and refusing to be ignored. You know the phrases: owning the libs, deport them all, cry harder, winning. Politics apparently has become a spectator sport, and the goal is not solutions, the goal is humiliation. And I kept asking myself one simple question: how do you get joy from other people suffering and still believe you are the good guy? Let me say this clearly up front so nobody gets cute or dishonest later. This is not about mental illness. No one is saying political ideology is a diagnosis. That is lazy, inaccurate, and frankly insulting to people who actually live with mental health conditions. What we are talking about today is psychology, behavioral patterns, threat perception, fear responses, identity and power. Once you understand those pieces, the behavior stops being confusing and starts being predictable. If you spend any time on social media, and unfortunately I do, you see it constantly. People celebrating cruelty, laughing at deportations, mocking protesters, treating real human consequences like a punchline. And what struck me is this: they are not even pretending this is about policy anymore. It is emotional, it is tribal, and it is rewarded. So let us talk about the brain for a moment. There is a part of your brain called the amygdala. Its job is fear detection, threat assessment. It helps you decide what is dangerous and what is safe. Over the years, multiple peer-reviewed studies have shown correlations between conservative political ideology and higher threat sensitivity. In some studies, greater amygdala reactivity. In some cases, differences in amygdala volume. Important clarification: this does not mean every conservative has a big amygdala. It does not mean fear equals evil. It does not mean biology equals destiny. What it does mean is this: some people experience change as opportunity. Others experience change as danger. Different cultures, different races, different genders, different power dynamics. For some people, that feels like growth. For others, it feels like loss. And when the brain perceives loss, it reacts defensively. That is where fear comes in. Now add identity. When someone believes their value comes from belonging to a dominant group, anything that threatens that group feels like a personal attack. Not a policy disagreement. Not a demographic shift. A threat. That is how you get moral inversion. Immigrants become invaders. Protest becomes terrorism. Journalism becomes treason. Empathy becomes weakness. Cruelty becomes virtue. And here is the part people really do not want to admit. There is a dopamine reward attached to dominance. When leaders give people permission to dehumanize others, the brain responds with relief. Fear is replaced with certainty. Anxiety is replaced with superiority. Power feels better than fear. So when someone says owning the libs, what they are really saying is this: I feel powerful right now. I feel validated. I feel like I am on the winning team. That is not politics. That is emotional regulation. And once you understand that, a lot of things make sense. It explains why facts do not work. You cannot reason someone out of a position they did not reason themselves into. If cruelty is soothing their nervous system, your statistics are not going to reach them. That is not an insult. That is neuroscience. This is also why everything becomes a game. Winners and losers. Tears as trophies. Pain as entertainment. But here is the problem. This is not football. This is not a video game. This is not a meme. These are real people. Real families. Real consequences. If you need someone else to suffer for you to feel strong, you were never strong to begin with. And history has seen this before. Societies do not collapse because of empathy. They collapse when fear is rewarded and cruelty is normalized. Every time. They are not owning the libs. They are soothing their amygdala. And no amount of cruelty will ever make fear go away, because fear is not solved by hurting other people. It is solved by confronting the lie that dominance equals safety. If this episode made you uncomfortable, that is not a failure. That is growth. If you recognize someone you know, now you understand them better. And if you recognized yourself, that is your invitation. This has been AYFKM. I am Victoria Sharp. Stay curious, stay human, and stop mistaking cruelty for courage.